Welcome to the Herb and Rick Social Hour. We invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the ponderings and musings of Herb Reed and Rick Hammond as they explore various and sundry topics, ideas, and experiences. We join this week's conversation already in progress.
All right, we're rolling. All right, here's the deal.
All right.
This is our first podcast attempt, right? I got to talk over here in the mic or we're going to lose it. What are we going to call this thing?
Herb and Rick Social Hour.
Herb and Rick Social Hour.
That's it.
All right. We had come up with Herb and Rick Social Hour. I actually like that a little bit better.
Do you? Okay.
All right. So first subject we're going to tackle today is Herb, shoot. Oh, you were going to tell me about cutting your grass today and running into a snake.
Yes, I'm petrified of snakes. My main thing, I'm just not a fan of snakes, Rick. I mean, it's just like one of those things, no legs. That's a no-go. It's a no-go, buddy. So that's the only thing. I hate snakes.
So what about like fish? I mean, they don't have legs. You're all right with fish, right?
I'm comfortable with fish.
You go
Matter of
fishing,
fact, I love
don't
fishing.
you?
Every now and then.
How about you got some sweet spots down in Alabama that you find?
It's a couple of places down the Tennessee River, that
Yeah.
nice little spots, hit and miss, but here we go again. I only fish when it's cold, Rick.
Because of snakes?
Because there's
You're
no leggers.
joking.
No, because there's no leggers.
You're kidding.
When the snake is in the area, he can have it. I'm going bye-bye.
So when the summertime comes,
You
back
won't catch
out?
me on a bank nowhere near it.
Now, my dad can't stand snakes either, and last year, him at 76 years old had the nightmare of nightmares. They were fishing down on Santee Cooper down in lower South Carolina, down around those big, I can't remember, cypress trees that hang out in the water and stuff. Guess what dropped in the boat on his foot? A snake. A
no-legger, Rick.
And doggone, he said he was backpedaling over cushions and seats and all kind of stuff, and his buddy sat there and just looked at him in the back.
I bet he was.
And he said, it didn't look poisonous to me. I don't know why you're getting so upset. And he's, how about you? How would you handle that?
Every snake to me is a cobra or rattlesnake. Regard. That's all I'm going to say. A cobra is a rattlesnake. And see, if I was you, I would have been in the water swimming. Probably would have drowned, but I wouldn't have been in the boat.
I love it. All right, so that's how you handle that. All right.
Yes, I will be your hero in just about any scenario, Rick.
Except when it comes to snake
Friends to
handling.
the end. But once I see a snake's in, my
So
friend.
you couldn't be in the Baptist church. Was it Baptist church that in the Appalachians that handles the snakes?
It's in.
That's not your cup of spirituality, eh?
No, my toes will be curled up. Might as well tag it.
I hear you. All right. Speaking of tag it, you being a paramedic and a fireman, what's life like now? As you teaching the young bucks how to do it now?
We've got several young guys in the department, Rick.
Okay.
We've got these young Spartans coming in.
Right.
And, just the mindset of the older guys, here we are, young enough to, they're 21, 20, young enough to be my son. So, we're dad to most of them. Is it the 95 kids? I call them hybrids because, Caleb was born in 95, and I call them the hybrid generation.
Okay.
And I guess, and I'm not going to say all, okay, but it's the mindset that they come in knowing everything, they know everything, but I'm not going to say it's all of them.
I'm with you.
It's a certain,
That's what I hear too. Every now and then you run into a handful or one or two that are like, man, this kid's got it. Well,
Right,
look down the
and then-
street, Christian. Well, what would you? I'd trust him in a foxhole.
Yes, I would. But, Christian, we've seen him growing up, Rick.
That's
he
true.
was always ready to help you and always, willing to make a buck.
Yeah, really.
He was willing to but he was willing to work for it. Even if he didn't know exactly what he was doing, he was out there doing
Yeah,
something.
he mess it up. I did my best, but
he would give it his best.
I trimmed your hedges and part of your siding too.
And then my son, bless his heart.
That's
a different
fill
story.
me in. Now, every time I
All
see
right,
him up at the Kroger, he's rocking it up there.
Is it an act or is it for real?
I don't know.
Is
See,
he
is that
acting
the
for
same thing I get from Lily? Lily around this house, she's a little bit different than when we don't even know her when we get her back from neighbors because they're like, she was just so helpful around here, and we're like, well, what?
See,
Help, what?
That's what I'm talking about. When you get Kalen at home, you get him to do it. He don't hear you as much, It's like he pick and choose. And I, growing up, my parents had to ask you a third time. You didn't get asked a third time. It was a sort of a discipline in there.
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
All right, you felt it.
Because we're getting a lot of, from Lily, we're getting a lot of, wait, just a minute. I'm not done. Playing her great games on her screen.
And it's that technology age that's got their minds going.
My brother says it's the crack of that generation.
It is. It's that generation. I mean, what's the Bible say? Come in that be a lot as each year they get wiser, but they get weaker to certain to certain things. I guess
could be
temptations, and just like I say, I don't know if they're trying to find it, but they're smart. When it comes to technology, you can't beat them, Rick. They're so far advanced.
Right.
I mean, we're left in ancient time, when it comes, but let's just say the physical aspect, getting your hands dirty, they're afraid of it.
Yeah.
They're afraid to get their hands dirty.
I'm having to do that a lot with Madeline now because she's like, y'all really haven't trained me to be an adult. And here she is 17
She's
last
right there
month.
on it.
And so in the last 6 months, I've been like, all right, come on, guess what you're doing this weekend? You're going to learn how to check the oil in the car. What? Oil? Yeah. That kind of stuff I don't really want to do. Yeah, you do if you're on a country road somewhere and you got a problem. You're going to know some basic.
At least the basics.
So I'm like, yes, changing a tire. Going to be changing a tire too. Don't you call people to do that? Remember that?
That's
my dad had us doing that constantly. In
Well,
his
as
junkyard.
preteens, we learned this stuff. I learned it early, Rick, probably when I was 10, but it was that generation thing, you would learn you had to work. I mean, if you didn't work, you pretty much, just got ragged out. But it's just that generation, Rick. They're afraid to get their hands dirty.
Yeah.
They're afraid of physical, and I think it's an authority thing sometimes, too. They challenge it. That's
Well,
what I was going to say.
that's
It's somewhat.
That's every generation, though, right?
You think so, Rick?
I mean, no, don't. That's true.
I think
Now,
I came on with Generation X. Now we didn't. I know there's a lot of us growing up. We did not. We respected it. I did not
Exactly.
find
There you go.
enough.
Yes,
We respected it. I did not.
I wouldn't directly talk back like I get that. Now Madeline doesn't, but Lily she'll push back
See,
straight, and
and
I'm like, are you out of your mind?
Rick, it's like somebody's. It's just like it's
And
the
I'm like-
norm to them. And I mean, even my little.
I'm like, are they picking it up off of sitcoms or what? If I got to ban Disney from this house because I'm watching these Disney sitcoms, and a lot of times it's
Disney.
all about
I'm on.
as if the kids can save the world. That's what everything's about.
If you look on Disney, exactly who's running the world is kids.
Right.
Look, what do they have us looking like, Rick, on Disney? Daddies, we're the wimps, we're the crazy. We
Right.
can't think. We don't think for ourselves on there. The kids are telling that.
I was
Come on,
going
Rick.
off with to somebody today, younger. I was a younger person at work, and I was giving a little foghorn leghorn. They didn't know what I was talking about. I was like, I tell you, boy, you bother me now. You need to get over there, and that kind of stuff. And they were like, what are you doing? I'm like, you've never heard of Bugs Bunny? Yeah, I've heard of Bugs Bunny. But they didn't know the nuance. Old school. Who was that? Looney Tunes? Yeah.
Yes, Looney Tunes, but yeah, it's just a different mindset, Rick. I mean, like I said today, 15, 20 years ago, we didn't really. I was lucky. We didn't even have cell phones to carry around.
Well,
But
exactly. I was explaining that to Madeline. I'm like, look, don't you don't know. You guys have entertainment at your fingertips. We had to wait to Saturday mornings to watch cartoons, and by about 11, they were done.
Yes.
And then at night, come midnight, what does it do? The 3 channels sign off, and you hear the national anthem, and it's all
And
done.
that was it. That was
You had
routine.
nothing else but a radio.
And that was it.
Right.
That was it.
Right. So I mean, it's definitely a new world.
Yes, it is. I say it's just that different mentality, Rick. But like I say, we're going back to the work thing, but it's just us having come to meet them. Just like I said, meeting of the minds, trying to get everybody to compromise and think on the same level. It's just tough to do with these kids. Like I said, it's something they question authority a lot.
Yeah.
For one thing, and
How about on the paramedic side? Are you doing a lot of that now, or do you just have
Well,
to remain certified?
no, I'm still actually as a fire department. What we're calling an ALS fire service, which means the majority of our guys on every piece of equipment will have care paramedics and drugs. Everything minus a transport rig. So anything treat cardiac emergencies, we can do all the electrical therapy, all the IV and meds, anything that a paramedic is capable of doing.
What's electrical therapy?
Oh, I'm sorry, Rick.
Let's
just say the heart stops. It's the big money thing that we get in the heart start. We jump start the heart. That's
Woo!
Excuse me.
There you go.
I'm trying to keep it basic.
Defib.
Hey, Hey, you do know something. Yes,
yeah,
defib, Rick.
I don't even know what that means.
You do.
The defibrillator, right.
The defibrillation, the ECG.
You know, I hear that the Rolling Stones carry a defibrillator around with them.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what are they in their 70s, right?
Come on, Rick.
I don't know that it's true. I'd have to snoke
Come
some,
on,
I reckon.
Rick. So you're
Sorry.
knocking those guys' age now. Come on now.
I'm sure Mick's still in decent shape, but you know, Keith, man, he's done it all 40 times over.
And the weirdest thing about that, Rick, you mentioned that. Have you seen the defibrillators in malls and restaurants yet? They trying to put them everywhere that you see fire extinguishers. They're putting these automatic external defibrillators.
I have seen that now that you mention it.
Yes. And it's becoming one of these things, Rick, because they're found, you know, the quicker you can get somebody defibbed, and once they go into one of those lethal rhythms, VFib, or what we call ventricular tachycardia.
Woo, that's a big word.
Yeah. I just thought I'd shake
Sounds
it right
like
there.
a punk band.
Yes, ventricular tachycardia.
Please welcome to the stage, ventricular blah, blah, blah. I don't know how to say it.
But those are two leads, you know, if they can get, the quicker they can get electrical therapy, the better chance of survival.
I see.
And another thing that we're teaching now in CPR, not trying to get off a lot, but is, you know, people now, they are, you know, would you mouth to mouth?
Yeah.
You know,
So how about the Generation Xers? Are they down with that?
No, they're not down with the mouth to mouth. I was very seldom down with the mouth to mouth if you're a stranger. But compressions only, and they have found now that just compressions benefit the patient more, the victim more than this mouth to mouth thing.
Okay.
So now,
if you see a paramedic or any kind of medical person in an emergency situation doing mouth to mouth, they're a pervert.
Easy now. I'm not, freak.
Well, no, I don't want to call out your colleagues.
But let's just say most of us, Rick, that when, especially with work, we're going to have our piece of equipment that we use
Right.
to breathe for the patient with bag valve mask and
Oh, yeah, that's right.
paramedic endotracheal tube once we get them intubated.
Oh, goodness gracious. Incubating. I remember incubating when I was a kid.
Intubated. But let's just say just a lay person, you know, average Joe, see somebody go down, no pulse or nothing like that. You know, you
can work all that stuff.
Right. And they'll be pretty much apt to do chest compressions versus because there's so many diseases going on, you know. And like I said, CPR isn't the most neatest thing to get messy at times.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you're dealing with gastric extension blowing in, you know.
Oh, so goodness gracious.
You may get a surprise.
All right. Everybody on scene might be surprised.
You may get a mouthful of surprise.
Oh, goodness. All right.
So
I was starting to feel queasy.
Yeah, so it's very interesting.
So the Rita don't have to deal with that stuff at her job, right?
No, but
is she doing the sleep therapy stuff?
She's still doing the sleep therapy. Couple of weekends a month, and you know, full time she does the research at the Kennedy Center where they deal with kids, special needs, autism, Asperger's syndrome stuff. It's above my head. I can't pronounce half the stuff.
Yeah.
But check up the leads. But most of them have to be anything, you know, tight. You have to. A lot of people have to be CPR certified.
Okay.
Regardless.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Whether you're directly dealing with patients or not, it's just a good thing. It be of more value, you know, to people. So.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Yeah. I guess she does. Yeah, I guess in a way, no matter what, any kind of medical situation, you got to be.
That, and you know, I'm thinking about pushing, you know, just teaching, getting out, going public to like Walmart court teaching employees. I mean, you know, like I said.
Well, that's an idea.
Yes, I mean, because you know, you want to know that if someone go down in your business, that you have personnel or staff members there that are capable of CPR. Hey.
Yeah, that's a great idea, actually. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
You might have a little fledgling sideline business for us, all said and done.
Along
with that sub shop you were going to open.
Yeah. The hamburger shop.
Yeah, that's
right. Herb's Hamburgers.
Yeah,
the black skillet burger.
We had literally, when I was growing up in South Carolina, up on the corner, Herb's Grill.
Really?
Yeah, great, really killer hamburgers.
Also, just a specialty?
Patties big as your head.
Wow.
Big around as your face.
And that's what we call house burgers.
They were huge.
House burgers.
Is that what you?
Yeah, we call them house burgers.
So is that what you call them down in Alabama?
Big, greasy, sloppy house burgers. But it's the best tasting things you can put in your mouth. Yes, that's right. Not the healthiest thing,
and you'll soon need that defib if you keep. If you
eat enough of them, yes, you will. But you just can't be. You can't be the house burger, Rick. When you're looking for
man,
taste,
that's
you fry that hamburger and then you take it out and then you dip that bun in the grease. I call it skillet gravy and
Yeah.
top it. Oh,
So let me ask you, when
Yes.
you were growing up, did y'all eat liver pudding? You heard of that? You know what that is?
that's why I'm giving you a head full of crickets. I have no clue.
That's exactly what it sounds like. It's
Liver
liver.
pudding.
It is liver. Basically, it comes in like a sausage formation, but you take it out of it and you just mash it down and fry it. Nobody ate it that I know of but my father, and he would run everybody out the house with that
What
stink
did it
stuff.
taste? I mean, did you ever taste it? You get
Yeah, he made us eat it once or twice. It's almost like bad. You have that deviled ham that come. You remember deviled ham? And
yeah,
little
I remember that
white
devil.
rabbit? Yeah.
Yes.
Not so much Spam. It'd be like, Spam's real salty. Remember Spam?
I
Spam,
had,
spam,
yeah, I had
spam.
spam a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Times were getting tough.
Times
around,
were getting
around the
tough.
firehouse.
It was getting tight, and you had that spam with the little key. Yes, it came in handy every now and
Yeah,
then.
it wasn't quite like Spam, but you just mash it up kind of like that devil ham stuff, and it was just gnarly, and it would stink to high heaven, as they say. He would fry it up in a pan, and like he forced us once or twice to eat it, and then finally we were just like, no way, you can't catch us to make us eat it.
No, I mean, and liver itself tastes. I can do fried, bitter,
Uh-huh.
irony type, bloody. I don't know, but I just can't. Liver pudding.
No.
I've eaten some.
So
stuff.
how about chitlins? Do y'all have that? Because we
Do
had
you
what
see
was
the
called,
smile on my face?
oh yeah, we had when I was growing up. They had one of the cities right near us. They had a thing called a chitlin strut, and you would go and everybody would be making different kinds of. Now I never tried them. I
You
didn't
never
have the
tried
guts.
them, Rick.
I smelled them.
You're missing a treat, and it's the smell that gets a lot of people.
Yeah,
With me.
it's kind of like liver pudding.
And
I
it's
guess.
like it's not the healthiest thing to eat, but we sort of, it's black folks now. We like we love
Hey, man, they
chitlins,
had it
Rick.
there. Yeah, they
the
had it
thing
there.
of it is, we sort of
That's pig intestines,
yes, it's pig intestines, but I tell you, it's a delicacy to me. But it's the smell I get most. But we've narrowed down to probably Thanksgiving and Christmas. We get the family.
Just kind of a little side dish.
And if you want family to show up, you tell them you haven't had.
now, did you ever fix any?
I've actually fixed them, but I
Did y'all ever flavor them differently at different
No.
time, like pepper? Or is it always we cooked them the one way?
It's you probably cook them one way. A lot of people vinegar, pepper, maybe a little seasoning, salt in them. Until you get them cooked down. Most of you top hot sauce and mustard, wherever you want to mix them with a coleslaw.
See, that
it's
sounds like-
after the fact.
That sounds like how they used to fix the catfish stew when I was growing
Really?
up. They'd throw a lot of that in there. Not
A
vinegar,
catfish
so to
stew.
Yeah, not vinegar, so to speak, but a lot of the rest
Yeah.
of that stuff.
I'm gonna have to invite you over for a chitlin dinner.
And okay,
Okay,
and
yes.
and you said crickets a minute ago, and that might be what you hear when you invite. I'll try.
That look-
What did you bring around here about last year? You brought what was it? A venison burger? No, what?
It was deer. Was it the deer shred? I had it. I think a hind quarter, wasn't it? Was it the hind quarter?
I don't know. You made
I think-
patties, I think,
I
and made
did.
a burger.
I did hamburgers
decent.
once. I made several things. I had y'all sample. I just,
Well,
and
who's shooting the deer?
friends of mine. I mean, I can't. I'm not a hunter, Rick, but I'm an eater. I'll let them go out and kill.
Whatever they need to get you to.
I'm not saying. I mean,
So what's the wildest thing you've ever eaten? It's just down because I'm trying to think back.
the wildest thing.
Now they used to crack around my area that they would cook rattlesnake, but I never saw
I've
them
never
do
had
it.
a rattlesnake. I guess snapping. I've had snapping turtle. You ever had a snapping turtle?
Yes. It was have you ever seen the soft shell turtles?
No.
They got a long snout. Really, and my granddad would do like a soft shell
soft
turtle
sh-
stew, but I never ate that either that I know of.
Now,
they
we
may
had-
have said this is catfish stew because they did that to us one time with rabbit. How
Really?
you like that chicken? That's really pretty decent. Oh, that was the rabbit that you were playing with the other day.
The rabbit. I tell you what, I got a story on the rabbit.
Yeah.
And growing up now,
Right.
rabbits were. I mean, we ate them growing up. Grandma used to cook them once. My daddy, uncles go hunt, drop them off. But a couple of years ago, we was living across the street from you, Rick. Me and Dorita decided we was gonna try, and they had them at Publix Rabbit, Publix, and Kaylin.
Really? Publix?
Publix. They had a rabbit.
Interesting. All right.
And I just sort of kept it, but I had an idea what type of rabbit it was. And Kalen, he had a pet rabbit. Running around the house, and soon become like domesticated. But Dorita put her heart in fixing this thing. I mean, had green, delicious mashed
Did y'all fry it?
potatoes.
How'd you fix it?
She
Stew it?
baked it. She sort of like baked it, and yes, baked it. No, I actually did fry it, Rick. It was fried.
So did y'all break it? You couldn't tell what it was, right? It was
No, you really couldn't tell, but and both of us just sit there. It's before the kids got here. We just sitting there, and I'm thinking, boy, this look good. But the first thing when I first bit into it, Rick, it was a puzzle because the first thing that came to my mind was Caitlin's rabbit. And these big fluffy-eared domestic, little pets running around. I mean,
you got
the
all
more I chewed
soft-hearted.
on this, yes, I got soft-hearted. She was thinking, but she was thinking the same
And
thing
y'all
I
didn't know
was.
it.
She was thinking, Herb, I feel guilty eating this rabbit. We're sitting here trying to munch.
God, that's hilarious.
Got to feeling guilty.
That is the funniest thing.
Eating a fried
What was the name of y'all's pet rabbit?
bunny, I think. I mean, that's what. Yeah, I mean,
real creative.
And Dorita was thinking, I guess we were sort of thinking the game, Jack Rabbit, to go out and
Yeah,
hunt. But
like
I told
just
her,
running around
I
the
said, Dorita,
neighborhood.
we eating these little pet fluffy rabbits, what you eating. And the more you ate them, it was like eating your pet dog. Or,
But if you got hungry enough, you'd have to, right?
We would have to, Rick, but it was a guilty thing. We wasted, I don't know how much money on this Publix Rabbit.
You didn't finish it.
Oh, man. I mean, it was just sit up, you got puzzled. The more you ate, the more puzzle you got. Feeling guilty. Dude, we just sitting there chewing it like a piece of gum, afraid to swallow it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that was the last
man,
rabbit
that's
I ate.
great.
I mean, just felt guilty feeding,
Yeah,
Bugs
well,
Bunny.
I guess. I don't know. I mean,
I don't know how
I'm
you
sure
felt,
I
but it was
I
just-
couldn't eat any Boston Terrier real soon, but if we
No.
got hungry enough, I could eat.
But, the more that pet rabbit crossed my mind, those little fluffy white,
Man, I wish I had that on film. That's hilarious.
Oh,
I think there's a movie that does something like that with something.
It was the most weirdest feeling.
Well, there was the Three Stooges episode back in the day when they thought they killed the cat and dog, and the Middle Eastern guys were cooking them, and they thought they were eating cat. Remember that one? And they gave them hot dogs, and then the dog was under the chair, and they were rocking on the chair, and they
I think I could sort of remember.
rocked
That was
onto his tail, and every time they tried,
They tried to take a bite. I think I remember that episode.
sheer genius.
But yeah.
I mean, like when I was growing up and going, it was about this. I was a couple years ahead of you because I'm a little bit older than you. We had fourth grade. I think third or fourth grade is when they desegregated schools completely. So they were taking us and integrating us across town, which blew my mind because I was watching some kind of episode of something the other day. I think it was Jerry Seinfeld was talking about something. And he was like, he had never been around an African American person until he was in college. And I was like, college? Wow. I'm like, shoot, dude, we were.
And it depends on what type of town he grew up in, Rick. If it was one of these small town schools, I could see that. If it didn't have,
upstate New York is true. And if you're way,
and they probably just didn't have many blacks in the area. Like I said, once we're going, and people pick with me because of his voice. I mean, it's
you don't sound.
it's a southern. It's like a country.
You got more of a drawl than I do. Now my wife says I have the South Carolina, very proper
Sorta.
Southern kind of thing. Whereas she's got, they got more of that hillbilly kind.
Yeah,
not quite. Actually, I'm making that up. It's not really hers either, but
she speaks. I mean, she doesn't really have that accent. I mean, just a normal American lady.
you say that. When we lived in Los Angeles, all our friends out there were like, "Golly, y'all have thick Southern accents."
Well, it's just like when I went up north, my aunt used to live in Connecticut. Aunt, whatever you want to call them.
Right.
And everything is like y'all. What is y'all? Y'all this.
Yeah.
But it's just a southern slang, and it's just like going to a restaurant up there. When you ask for a Coca-Cola is soda. Not Coca or drink. What kind of drinks y'all have?
Yeah, soda. Yeah, that's right. Whereas down south, everything's a Coke.
And
it's got carbonation.
It's different, but yeah, when we grew up, it was a mixture of kids, black and white. But when I was in there, anyway.
Yeah. So you're in what city in Alabama?
I grew up in Madison County, so it was really Huntsville, but the county side.
Gotcha.
So I went to country school, so to speak.
I can tell.
Oh, really? What make you think?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where it, I guess it's an accent or whatever you want, it's southern drawl. But my mother said my grandmother used to talk a bit. She was from Virginia, though.
Yeah?
Yeah. So
Did she have one or not?
It's sort of dry, sort of. So it's just something that's inherited. It's not, a lot of get teased, Herbert, you hung around a lot of white people. Is that why you talk like you did? But I found out that I was at before I even probably knew white. You know, it was just that
That's where it was.
that slow, that old fashioned,
Yeah.
and ancient. You know,
Ancient.
antique. But yeah, it was just one of those things. But really, and it probably Rick, I can probably, and I was probably riots. I mean, I'm quite sure it popped up every now and then. You know, and
Right.
so, but it's probably more to high schools back then. But you know, when I was
I remember in my
Just
junior
in
high
here,
school
you
there was hubbub about having a race riot on the football field. It was the only time I remember getting to the point of everybody's fighting and it's dividing out by race.
really, I mean, but
So we got down to the football field, and the biggest guys on both sides, black and white, kind of met in the middle and were like, "Look, this is ridiculous. We're not going to do this." And I think they were all on the football team or something.
That's what were
And
they
the rest
playing
of
on
us
the same team?
They were the rest of us on a little scrawny. Yeah, it was really weird. And then just never heard anything. It was never anything like that before. But I mean, we had probably way more black teachers than I had white teachers. So you had that element. I was just like, just became irrelevant to me after about the fifth
Right.
grade.
And like I said, I used to have your right, but it wasn't as much. You know what I mean? So that we was exposed to, in the area we was in. But it was there occasionally.
Well, yeah, and you're growing up. You're not thinking about it. I mean, every now and then you'd have some kind of friction on something.
Oh, yeah.
But it was just like for the most part. That's what I was going to say. I had my black buddies. And we were. What was the thing they were talking about? And I'm trying to remember. Golly, Anthony Thomas was one of them, and who was it? Charles Ruff. And those guys, there was some point you were bringing up a little while ago, and I was like, well, you were talking about the Chitlins and stuff, but they weren't. I mean, shoot, I don't think they were even down with all that. Their families were more well off than ours. I mean,
Really?
it was Charles Ruff, the Ruff parents, they were like big time realtors.
Wow.
In our area.
But even, upper class black, they still chilling. They may not expose it, come out commercial with it and stuff, but I
I'll
guarantee
take your
come on,
word
Rick.
for it. Yeah. No, I'll take your word for it. But yeah, I mean, it was hilarious. I mean, the stuff we used to go. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Because, we grew up with the generation that was like Red Fox and all, and Milton Berle and all them, and they would have the roasts and stuff, and they would roast on race. They did. It was hilarious.
Well, I mean, we try to come, and that's just it, right? Try to find a humor thing. It's a time to be, but then it's time, we can cut loose a little bit. We ain't heard, foods and stuff like that.
Exactly. So like when I was hanging out with Anthony and them, that we'd be like, you remember that song "Short People" when we were growing up? Well, we started going back and forth with black people and white people. And it was like, it was the classic white people can't jump, black people can't swim, back and forth. So, I mean, we were just rolling laughing. We thought it was hilarious.
Ain't that a trip, though?
But, well, I mean,
But now,
Yeah, you can't even go down that road now, apparently. That's what I hear.
Mean, it gets a little bit sensitive, to certain people.
Chris Rock's like, he can't even go on college campuses anymore. So he said it's so politically correct. They can't even chuckle at some kind of stereotype that might be, okay, yeah, that is kind of funny.
And like I say, when we break, don't we? It ain't
Yeah.
But and it was because like I said, I had quite a few friends growing up, Rick, and probably one of my closest ones, still like a brother today, was white, Jackie.
Jackie.
His name was Jackie Dale Jones.
That's a Southern name.
Jackie Dale Jones. And I guess the first time, okay, and you may get a kick out of this. I sure did. I can't remember exactly. I know it was still in probably elementary, middle school, maybe, but the group Alabama.
Yeah, I remember them.
You remember them, right?
I do.
And here I am, Jackie Dale Jones, just like a brother. Heard you want to go to Alabama concert? And me being as nice as I am, not really. I ain't been exposed that much.
Okay.
Alabama.
Oh, that's right. They used to. Did they run?
And at the Von Braun Civic Center in Huntsville, yes. I mean, it was a big thing, Rick. Certain ones, and so I go being nice.
Yeah.
My mother, asked her, and they bought the ticket for old Herbert.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Your mom didn't think twice?
She didn't tell me if she did.
Okay.
And here I am, off in this Alabama, knowing sweet home. And I mean, I'm about to look around. It took me a minute, Rick, and I'm thinking,
Well, how was it?
I've seen all these little.
Well, you're here today, and you don't seem to be any worse for the wear.
That's because I laid low.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. I mean, we're growing up. Let's see, what was I? I went to was it Rick James?
So you?
I was not. I was in the minority.
But were you the only one? I mean, but it was more right.
That probably was a more integrated concert.
Okay.
But when I went to see the Barkays in Shalimar, because a handful of my white buddies wanted to see Jody Watley. Remember her?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We were there might have been 10 of us in that where were we at? We were at the Coliseum. I mean, who else did we see down that way? I mean, it was like, well, I went and saw Bootsy Collins, but that was out in Los Angeles.
At least you had a couple of sidekicks, but this Alabama concert,
Oh,
Rick,
so you were
I was the only one there. I was only here to sit.
couple
Come on.
sidekicks, right? Yeah.
Come on, Jackie, let me go put your arms or something. But no, we made it out. It was pretty, like I say, I went most just to keep, he was my friend.
Yeah, I understand that.
Break
well,
the
I mean,
ice-
like,
break the ice a little bit.
was it just Alabama? Or was it another band?
No, it was just Alabama playing Sweet Home.
Well, I mean, I assume. Those guys seem like okay guys. They
And
weren't
but,
up there
I was just
preaching
scared of the
white
crowd.
supremacy, were
No,
they?
they wouldn't, Rick. But it's just a time. I'm scared. These
Right.
rebel flags still, woohoo,
Well, I mean, I got talked into going to the Barcades and
And
Shalimar,
here-
and I'm
but
like, I
here-
get down there and we're like third row, and I'm like,
But it was,
gosh,
come
like,
on, Rick. But you
there's
had,
the three of us white
but
guys
it was
here.
three of y'all, one of me. I'm sitting down there,
And-
little
yeah.
timid Timmy.
I'm trying to remember. I think I went to something else too. Well, Mother's Finest, but that was they were a mixed band
But
anyway.
we made it out though. It was an experience. It was an experience. I probably made history because I think I was probably on.
I bet you if Alabama plays today, they're not going to throw a Confederate flag
And
up
they will. I mean,
because of all the hubbub in recent times.
in recent times, but. Once you research it, it was also blacks who was fighting for that, flag.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it was just adopted by a group, hate group, and that's a lot of
Exactly.
blacks related to.
Well, I think, and that's understandable. So yeah, that is kind of an amusing story. You didn't think about it till you got there, and that's how I was at the Barcades in Shalimar. I mean, can you name a song the Barcades sang? I couldn't remember one.
I can't. It's just.
I mean, I'm thinking they're kind of like, if I remember back in the day, they were kind of like the Spinners and stuff.
Yeah,
the Four Tops.
I can't remember. No, I mean, right now I'm just too modern.
Yeah.
New age, I guess, for all these songs.
Yeah.
I mean,
But we was jamming on it back in the day. But it kind of made for some amusing times.
oh yeah.
We hope you've enjoyed this week's Herb and Rick Social Hour.